In the hush before the night remembers itself, when the horizon is a single blade of silver laid against the breathing of the earth, I walk where the dunes keep the stories of every wind that has ever crossed the empty world. Sand is a quiet scripture beneath my feet, each grain a dark syllable of a language older than the moon. And above me the heavens lean close, heavy with the unshed tears of forgotten constellations. There is no boundary here, only the long, slow exhale of time, and the silence sings in a voice deeper than stone. The first star rises like a wound of light, a single spark trembling in the velvet gulf, and I feel the desert listening. The wind carries a scent of iron and distant rain, though no rain will fall. It is the memory of storms, the breath of seas that have long since turned to salt and silence. I lift my face to the sky and see them, shadows of suns that died before my ancestors dreamed, their embers still whispering across the black. They are the fallen skies, and their song is the choir of obsidian, a music of broken brilliance and unending night. I walk farther, each step a dialogue with the dark. My footprints bloom and fade as if the earth itself is breathing me in. And the moon, slow and solemn, lays a pale hand across the sand. There is a power in this emptiness. No walls, no roofs, only the unyielding truth of distance. Here I am, both smaller than a grain of dust and larger than the endless vault above. A paradox the heart cannot contain yet longs to inhabit. The stars scatter like shards of ancient glass, and every glint is a syllable in the hymn. The universe hums when it thinks no one is listening. I think of the obsidian stone forged in fire, born of molten grief. It shines only when it has cooled, when the fever of creation has passed, and in that cold shine lies a patient strength. The choir of fallen skies sings in that same register. Beauty born of endings, music wrought from collapse. Their voices are not the shrill cries of tragedy, but the low resonance of acceptance, the sound a mountain makes as it becomes sand, the echo of a river long dry. To listen is to feel the weight of ages pressing like a soft tide against the ribs. The wind changes, carrying a whisper of palm and water from an oasis hidden beyond sight. My heart turns toward it instinctively, yet my feet remain in the pathless open. I am drawn not by the promise of water, but by the gravity of the unseen song. There is a rhythm in the universe that only the solitary can hear. A slow drumbeat beneath the pulse, a melody coiled inside the silence. It is the music of continuity, of stars collapsing into themselves, of worlds spinning out of reach, yet tethered to the same endless breath. The dawn I entered was not the end of night, but its second voice, softer yet no less infinite. Morning stretched across the dunes in long gold sighs, and the stars that had guided me sank like quiet prayers into the depths of unseen oceans. Yet their echo lingered, not as sound but as a weightless pulse, a rhythm felt beneath the ribs. I carried that pulse into the newborn light, and every breath was a bridge between the obsidian dark and the shimmering promise of day. The desert changed its color as the sun climbed, copper first, then the pale fire of molten brass. Shadows fled toward the hollows of stone, leaving the wide earth bare and exposed. But even as brightness claimed the sand, the choir of the fallen skies did not release me. It lived now in the way the horizon trembled, in the subtle quiver of heat where distance dissolved into mirage. Each shimmer was a verse, each wave of warmth a memory of night's eternal hymn. I walked toward a low spine of hills, their silhouettes cut clean against the widening blue. With every step the air thickened, humming with an energy older than the dawn. I felt the ancestors again, the wanderers, who had sung to the moon when empires were still dust, who had trusted the language of wind more than the tongues of kings. Their footprints were not gone. They had simply turned to light. I followed them, not as a seeker of relics, but as a listener to a story that has no final page. From a cleft between two rocks, a falcon rose, sudden as a thought. Its wings caught the sun and scattered it in silver fragments. For a heartbeat, I heard nothing but the thunder of feathers slicing air. And I remembered the knight's promise, even those who fall teach us how to fly. The bird wheeled once, a solitary spiral of grace, then vanished into the wide blue silence, leaving the sky vaster than before. I climbed until the desert unfurled beneath me like an ancient scroll. From that height, the dunes looked like frozen waves, the distant palm clusters like small green flames. A wind rose, fierce and cleansing, and with it came the low, resonant murmur I had carried from darkness. It filled the hollow of the hills, a soundless song that lived in the bones. The choir had not ended at dawn. It had only changed its instrument. Now the stones themselves were the singers, and the sunlight the deep vibrating drum. I closed my eyes and let the voices speak. They told of stars that die and are born again, of rivers that vanish only to return as clouds, of hearts that break so they may open wider. They told me that falling is not failing, that even the blackest night is a seed of light. In their telling, I felt the vast patience of creation, the quiet insistence that nothing is truly lost. The obsidian sky had fallen, yes, but its fragments shone in every grain of sand, every glint of quartz, every heartbeat of wind.